Hello, and welcome back to Serendipity Intended. My name is JJJan. I'm so glad you're here. I have been working on Junk Journal January 2026, and I have a number of days where I just miss doing them, right? Life got crazy, and I wasn't able to keep up. But now we are having a bit of snowy weather here on the East Coast, and I have 2 snow days coming up, Monday and Tuesday, thanks to the weather. So I took advantage of the extra time and sat down this afternoon and went through and did the pages that I missed. And I didn't make a video of creating the pages, but I thought instead what I would do is a bit of a flip through. So if we take a quick peek here, so I think I last left off with paper clips. So this video comes from ink all the way through accidental, day 19 time, 20 mindful, 21 collected, 22 trim, and 23 layers. So lots and lots of pages to show you. I definitely did go a little bit simpler with the pages just because I was quite honestly trying to get them done. And I'm behind on my journaling as well because I didn't have the pages done. So yeah, I really just, I needed to kind of pop through it. The other issue is, as you can see, I had intended to do something fairly lightweight, and I ended up with a ridiculous number of pages, and so I also needed to kind of reduce the bulk a bit. So let me zoom this just a teeny bit more. Okay, so day 17 was ink, and I decided to just do a little drawing of some little birds, and I used ink to draw them, and I also used ink or marker to color everything in, which I don't typically do. I typically use colored pencil or watercolor, so that was a little bit different for me, but I'm pretty pleased with the way that they turned out. And so that was ink. And then day 18 was accidental, and I really struggled with this. I did actually end up watching Creativity and Coffee's video to get an idea because I really wasn't sure what to do. And so I made a little bit of an ink, actually it's more of a paint blot. So I used a Posca pen and put it on one side and then folded it in half, opened it up, let it dry, and then I kind of traced in the details and made a butterfly. So kind of fun. I don't know that I would do it again, but it was a fun little experiment. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, I had intended to come back once the paint dried and add little black circles around each of these pink paint dots so that they looked a little bit more finished and sort of less stuck on afterwards. So there. So now that really truly is finished. You probably can't see the difference, but I can. Okay, day 19 was time. And my original idea was to stamp using this stamp on to the page and create sort of a border that way. But for some reason, I think probably because I didn't have anything sturdy enough behind it, the stamp didn't take very well. So I went over it with a watercolor wash, and the colors probably don't read. I used a little bit of brown, some olive green, some purpley blue, and then some yellow. I tried to pull colors from this. And then after that dried, I stamped some numbers over top of it. And then I added this clock with a few papers behind it just for a little bit of collage, and then some text which says "Through the Long Evening," which sort of felt appropriate for wintertime. So I'm actually really happy with the way this turned out, and also with the amount of minimal bulk that this was. So that was time. And then I decided to go in completely a different direction for this day. So this was mindfulness. And I originally was going to use this image, which I really love, and I will find someplace to use this, because I really also loved the quote that was here. She silently stepped out of a race that she never wanted to be in, found her own lane, and proceeded to win. I absolutely adore that quote, but I think I might use this in my teacher planner instead of this journal so that I can use more of the image. So I set that aside, and I decided to go, I've been doing a lot of sort of more muted things in the journal just because it felt very January, but I wanted something bright, so I took this image and I took the idea from the background and created my own. And because she was a little too large to fit on one page, I also decided that I would let this spill over onto the next page. And not my typical style, but I think it's pretty, and I like the way it looks. Plus there's some neat spots to do some journaling in, which is also kind of awesome. Now, day 21 was collection, and I love to collect shells. When I go to the beach, I walk along looking for shells, and I do have a little bit of a collection. So again, I just wanted to keep it fairly simple and unbulky. So I just took 3 stickers of shells that I thought were pretty, and I purposely chose more muted ones so that they wouldn't take away from what was going on here. And then I just wrote "She sells seashells by the seashore" continuously all the way around to kind of connect the 3 images together. And I'm super happy with how that turned out. Very simple, but it does add a nice little bit of something to the page, and again gives me some room to journal. And then this one, so day 22 was trim. And what I really wanted to do was put some fun trim on the edge of the page, maybe add a dangle, and I just couldn't do the bulk. So instead, I did put a little piece of sort of wide washi down to kind of help this pop, but I just took some paper scraps and attached them to a strip of a piece of this is a sewing pattern. So I just use that as my base. There are little bits of it, so like right here, showing through from the piece underneath. But I just sort of collaged some pieces down the side and created a little bit of trim for the page. I am actually kind of in love with the way that this turned out. I'm super, super happy. And this is a great way to use up fabric scraps. And I think this idea would be totally transferable to really any junk journal page, just to add a little bit of something on the edge and then leave yourself room for journaling. So that was trim. And then the last day that I had to skip over was day 23, and that was layers. And my original thought was to do a layered notepad that I could journal on. And I was going to do that when I thought I might end up with a lot of really filled up pages and needing space to journal. And then I didn't fill up the spaces. So I had this image. I wanted to include a bird. And so I just, again, went through some of my scraps and layered them to make something pretty. And that was my layers page. And again, I have plenty of room to journal. So that is days, I guess, what day was it? 17 to 23, kind of all in one fell swoop. I hope that you find this video encouraging, in that, you know, it doesn't take incredibly complex and elaborate pages to participate in a journal challenge like Junk Journal January. Most of these pages didn't take a lot of time at all, and I'm really pleased with how they turned out. This one probably took the most time just because of the number of steps and pieces, but the rest of them really only took a short while, not counting drying time. You know, this one probably took literally about 5 minutes, and this one, again, not counting drying time, probably 7 or 8 minutes total, from start to finish. So again, this one maybe 7 or 8 minutes because I had to draw it and then go back and color it. But you can create some really beautiful things without a tremendous amount of time and participate in a challenge. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this quick flip through of days 17 to 23 of Junk Journal January, and I'll see you next time. Until then, I sincerely hope that you make a really great day.